Hi, welcome to my podcast, Stories by Vera V. Today I'm joined by a very special guest.
Céline.
And today we'll be talking about what's it like being a gymnast.
Interesting stories by interesting people. Stories by Vera V.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, of course. My name is Céline. I'm living in the Netherlands, also known as Holland. I'm 25 years old, and today I'm joining Vera in her podcast.
I think I've been following you for quite some time. And so I wanted to ask, just like, I don't know, as a random question, what's your favorite kind of, because I know for gymnastics, there are like different kinds of events, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite?
Yeah, bars is my favorite. Since I was young, it was also vault, but bars is my favorite because my coach is excited about bars.
Uh-huh.
So we do that a lot. And since I do a lot of bars, I've been becoming better at it. So right now it's bars, but I also enjoy vault on competition.
Uh-huh. For bars, I went through your whole highlight today on stories. With all that, you're so good at it. Oh my God.
Thank you. Thank you.
It just looks so scary because you have to be like flipping around all the time.
Yeah. For me, beam is the most scary one. It's so small and high, so that's the most scary one for me. But I enjoy bars.
Mm-hmm. No, the beam for sure. I just can't imagine how people do such like wonderful things on it when it's so small, like you said.
Like last year, my boyfriend won on the beam for once because he always told me, yeah, I can do it as well. And I'm like, okay, sure, let's see. And he went on it and no, he came back at it. He walked on it and he said, no, okay, I have respect for you.
That's really fun. When did you start gymnastics?
When I was 4 years old. So that's a really long time ago. I'm 25 right now.
Wow.
But it's different in our country. In the US, I know that you go to school, and in school you can join different clubs, if football or the debate club or gymnastic club. So you're going to school, and in school you're going to a sport. In our country, it's a little bit different. You go to school, and after school you go to your local gymnastics club, and there you go to do training or practice. And if you're really good, you go to another state to just go there and practice it there and becoming better. So like the cities that are better are like Rotterdam or Amsterdam. So if you're good at gymnastics, you go to the bigger places.
Mm-hmm. Are there levels? Because I know for gymnastics here, it's like level 5, you're like, I don't know how old, like 7 years old or something, and it just kind of goes up like that. Is that the same system?
No, it's a different system, but it's kind of related. So in the US, I should have level 8, I think. But it's different in our country. We have divisions and levels. So the main difference is in our country, you will be selected in age groups. So in my group, I'm in 18 years and older. So it's fair for me because I'm 25, and I have a lot of people in the US saying to me, yeah, but you're older and that's not fair for the younger ones. I need to explain, I'm not from the US, I'm from the Netherlands, and there we have a group 18 and older, so it's fair. But I have a lot of comparison with it. So another difference in the US is I heard of it that it's really expensive to do gymnastics, the fees for the club and the traveling. But here in the Netherlands, you have your fee for the club is around $1,000 a year. So that's a really big difference. And if we travel, we have a really small country, so traveling is much easier than in the US. We go by car, and you go, guys go by plane.
So is it by car? Like everybody travels individually to the place, or is it kind of like a car takes all of you?
Mostly individually. Some teammates will drive with me sometimes, but they are then also from the same place as where I live. But at most, if you drive from down the Netherlands to above the Netherlands, it's a 3-hour drive.
Really?
That's our whole country.
That's so funny. Because I live in California, United States, so that's a state, right? But I think to drive from the very bottom to the top, that's going to take more than like 12 hours.
Yeah.
Just
It's a
first
really
date.
big difference.
Yeah. That's so convenient, like you said, because the drives are short. Like just get from point A to point B.
Yeah, so most of the time my whole family goes with me.
That's so cool. So they're out there supporting you?
Yeah. I think last year I had a competition. I think it was the quarterfinals of the nationals, and it was a 15-minute drive from my house.
Oh, really?
So all my friends and all my family, the family went with me. I think I had 17 supporters.
Oh my God. Bringing the whole crowd.
Yeah.
That's really good, though. That's really good. How often are the competitions usually? Because I know right now with COVID and everything, it's obviously like none, right? Or
I don't know. Yeah, everything is canceled right now. But normally we have, like in the US, you have nationals. So you have qualifications, and in my age, you have 3 qualifications, and you can qualify for the half final. And if you qualify after the half final, you go to national. So I think 5 big events a year, and that's individually. So you have also individually and team. And I'm doing both because my teammates are old enough that we can become a team. So we are doing team and individually. So in a year, I think we have like 15 events.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. But I'm enjoying it. I love it. And you have to qualify, because if you go, if you mess up in the first round, then you will have like 6 events a year. So it's really up to you.
So is there only one sort of qualification event for all competitions, or is there one before every competition? Does that make sense? I'm just kind of confused on that.
Yeah, I understand you. It's one. So it's in our country, there's our federation. It's called the KGU and KNGU to translate it. And it's a federation that will do everything start every competition, and we go to those competitions. And besides that, there are local clubs that sometimes organize competitions between different friendly clubs. But most of the time, the federation will do all the organization of the club of the competition.
Okay, so then it's kind of more like official.
Yeah, official. Yeah, so all the flags of our country are hanging if you go to competition. It's always a big event.
Yeah, it sounds very commemorative. What are the prizes for those competitions?
It depends. In the quarterfinals and the semifinals, it is cheaper. So, and if you go further, half final and final, it will be more expensive. But the first qualifications will be around $40 each. And if you make nationals, then the national competition will cost you $100. So that's not a lot of money. It's fine. It's doable. And some clubs will pay it for you. My club doesn't, so I need to pay it myself. But I give boys gymnastics, and that club will pay the competition for the boys, so they don't have to pay it themselves.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
And so for the prizes, are there a lot of money prizes, or how is it?
No, it's just honor. No, you don't have any prize money, because I'm not in that kind of level. I'm still amateur level. So if you in the highest level, like Simone Biles, for my country is Epke Zonderland or Sanne Wevers. In Rio in 2016, Sanne Wevers won beam final. Because Simone Biles fell off beam that time. And that's from our country.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
Oh, yeah, good. Yeah, and that was the highest level. So they will compete for money. But for me, in my level, it's just honor and enjoyment and for myself.
That's so great, because you really get to focus on really enjoying the process and everything that goes into it.
Yeah, and that's, I think, why I'm still doing it. I'm enjoying gymnastics still so much. And my progress is only increased from that. Because when I was, I think, 15 years old, I quit gymnastics because In puberty, I just wanted to try something else. I've always known gymnastics my whole life. I didn't know any other thing than gymnastics. So for me, it was done. And when I became 20 years old, I thought, I miss it. So I want to come back. So when I was 20, I started again, and now I'm 25, and I can't imagine my life without it. But time's ticking, I guess, because 25 is a bit old as a gymnast. But I'm enjoying it, and if my body still can do it, then why not?
No, yeah, for sure. Because I mean, at the Olympics, you see those girls, and they're like 16 years old. They're so young. Like they're my age. Like I can't imagine being at the Olympics right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so true. And I see that too. Sanne Wevers for my country is 29. So I have a little bit of time, I guess. But most girls are way younger. So Simone Biles is 25, I think, right now. So
she's
and she quit gymnastics. So I'm still got time, but who knows?
No, for sure. So where do you think you want to go with it? Just continue doing those competitions, or do you have like some sort of goal, I guess?
Yeah, in my level, I want to make nationals one more time, because I'm better than ever. I want to see where I can go. Can I make the podium at nationals or the top 10? And to be honest, if COVID didn't happen, I think I would have made nationals and then go a level higher, because I think, and my coach thinks that I can do it. But because of COVID, everything was cancelled, so I never got the chance to do it. So I'm waiting to get the chance to do the competitions and hopefully make nationals, and see from there if I still can go to another level. Because in our country, you have like in the system from the competition, if you are the top 10, you can voluntarily go to a higher level. So you can't always choose to go in a higher level. No, you have to qualify to go to another level. And if you on the top 3, you have to go to another level and to a higher level. So in the top 10, it's voluntarily, and in top 3, you have to go. So I want to have to go. I know I can voluntarily go, but I want to. They need to say to me, "You have to go to a higher level."
So with the competition, since they were canceled because of COVID, are they going to be rescheduled, or is it just next year? How does that work?
It's rescheduling right now. But they did that last year also, and last year we went back in the gyms in June, I think. So I'm hoping that we can go back in January or February. But right now, our schools are also closed. So the first thing is what they are gonna open is the schools, and after that maybe the sports. But we keep hoping, but right now downstairs I have a mini beam.
I saw that setup. Room. Yeah. Looks very legit.
Yeah. It's from a local club nearby that I borrowed, and I have an air track, and I'm practicing outside on bars. So we're creative, but it's not the same as inside. Yeah. We make the best of it each time, but it's not the same.
No, for sure. What does training look like in the gyms? Like a typical training day?
We train 3 times a week. So I'm training 10 hours a week. So on Wednesday, we have a practice for 3 hours. And also on Friday for 3 hours. And on Sunday, 3.5 hours. So that's really long comparing other sports. But in the training, we mostly start with a warm-up, and we do all kind of events. So because my coach favorite event is bars, we mostly are an hour and a half on bars.
Okay.
Mostly she forgets the time. And we're trying to do all the different events. So what the difference is in beam and bars, you can really go a long time there. Like vault and floor are much more higher in energy. So you can do that for so long. So sometimes we do vault for 20 minutes, but bars and a beam for like an hour. So that's really a difference. And besides that, we're doing strength and flexibility and sometimes even a ballet
Really?
for everything. And dancing just to express ourselves because we have to dance on floor also. So that's why we're doing dancing in the practice as well.
That's very interesting. I think a lot of sports, like I know figure skating or ice dancing, they also do ballet because it's also part of their, because you have to be like, dancing.
Yeah, that's so true. It's a big comparison with that, also with the jury on the competition. And that's the main difference with other sports. You have to be perfect. And when you do the education to become a jury, they always say, it can't be perfect. There is always something that isn't right. So that's what I grew up with. It's okay what you're doing, but it's never perfect. But it makes me better. So fine.
No, I feel like it's like an ideal that you hold yourself to, but you're never going to reach it, but you're still, working towards it.
Yeah.
Can be motivational.
So yeah. And of course you're coming close to it. And for us, the system, you have to explain it a little bit. The points that you can get in a competition, you have 10 points for how you do it and 10 points for what you're doing. So the points for what you're doing, they always are the same. So if I start my routine, I already know what I'm going to do and what score I'm going to get with the 10 points. And the other 10 will be deducted from how I do it.
Okay. That's interesting.
So if you're looking at gymnastics as someone that doesn't know anything about gymnastics, it's really hard to understand the score system.
No, I think it's similar because I watched like a random documentary on ice skating and I think they talked about it. Yeah, I think it's similar because the one is the technique portion, which I guess is what you do. It's based on like the kinds of, I don't know what they would be called in gymnastics, like tricks, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then how you do it is the performance.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the only thing we can protest against is on what we're doing. So if the jury doesn't do it right on what we're doing, we can protest it. So if after my routine, I have 60 seconds to write my complaint. And then they are going to look at it. But I never can complain about how I do it because that's what it is.
Yeah. 60 seconds to write it.
Yeah.
That's so short.
That's really short. So my coach already has a book with all our routines in it. So the writing is crazy.
Have you ever written one?
Yes. And I won one.
Really? Okay.
And I made nationals because of it. So it comes down in really, really tight. So it's good. Yeah.
I feel like it would be helpful. I don't know. Like as a non-gymnast, I feel like it'd be helpful if people just submitted their routine, like everything that they do in it, so then the juries could just see it and it'd be easier for them.
Yeah. And also, but then they already know it. And sometimes want to surprise them with something because I'm doing something on floor that they don't see regularly. So I don't do it in the warm-up. So in my routine, I'm doing it. And they're like, oh, shit, what is she doing? How many points is it? They will be distracted on what they are need to look at me. So I can go on with my routine and I don't see much of how I do it. They're only looking at, oh, what is the word?
No, yeah, for sure. That's definitely distracting.
Yeah. This is a surprise.
But also for events, there's music, right? But is that only for floor or?
Yeah. On floor we have music that we have, luckily, because I can imagine on beam that I also need to listen to music and dance on it. But on floor, we can choose our own songs in the beginning of the season, and my ballet coach will do the choreography of the choreography. How does it called in choreography? Yeah. Close.
Close.
Yeah. the music. So it's really fun to do it because you will have a lot of dance classes to learn your routine.
How many is it? How long does it take to fully learn it?
Most of the time, three practices to learn.
Okay.
It's a 1 minute and 30 seconds routine on floor. But you have dance and also you have your skills. So she will think something on the dance side, but in practice we need to see, okay, what if we do it with the skills? Does it still have the right count and does it still look good? Because if you're having a really up-tempo song and you're going so fast because of it, it won't be really nice to see it. So it's also about how does it look, how does it feel, and and that takes longer than one practice to learn.
No, yeah, for sure, I can imagine that, but that's still pretty short. 3 practices for like a routine they use for the entirety of the season. That's good.
Yeah, that's good. But besides that, after the 3 practices, you do it so much times before for competition. My coach has some trick, and she loves it, and we hate it. And it's really fun to do. So what she's doing is we have 3 teammates of mine, and we go on the floor at the same time. And one of the floor routines will come up, the song, and you need to do your own routine on the song of the other teammates, and you do it 4 times on other songs and 1 time on your own song, just to know every step of the way.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot of work.
Yeah, but it's fun to do, but it's a lot of conditioning.
No, yeah. But also with those routines, because you do them so much, how do you keep yourself like fresh with it so it doesn't get too boring, you know?
Sometimes it's pretending on competition. So
faking.
Yeah. Every 2 years we have a new song because of it gets boring otherwise. Yeah. But besides that, you just need to stick with it for 2 years.
Okay. So wait, it changes every 2 years?
Yeah.
Oh my, that's a really long time.
Yeah, and I have the same one since COVID hit because I still want to do it on competition. Because last time we had competition and my parents were shooting with a camera and they were videotaping me. And in the video, my brother called them. So it messed up the video.
Yeah.
And I still didn't get the right video. And the competition after it, I did it again. They were filming and then I would fall with one skill. So it wasn't perfect also. So I just need to do one more competition with the same routine and then I can go on with a new song.
So have you started learning the new one yet? Or will you after you finish that?
After I finished the new competition, yeah. Okay,
yeah. What song is it?
It's from Simone Biles. I think from 2017 or 18, I guess. But I love Simone Biles' music. It's up-tempo, it's happy, and I can still enjoy it, even if I have it 2 years or 3 years.
2 or 3 years of the same song?
Yeah, same song every time.
Can you remember your past routines?
Yes,
are they engraved? Yeah.
Yes, they are. Even when I was really young, if the song comes up, everyone knows the same routines. So my teammates, they are competition are training just like me when they were young, because in gymnastics you start at a really young age.
Yeah.
So sometimes at practice we set up the old gymnastic routines, and we're all going to do the old routines, and everyone knows them.
That's so fun. It's like a bonding moment.
Yeah, it's true. And my best friends, Esme and Amber, they started gymnastics with me when I was so young, and I got in pre-team when I was 7, I think, and they started pre-team at 7 also, and we didn't get along then, so it was always a fight in gymnastics. But right now we're still friends, and we go on holidays together. So gymnastics is also a place where you can make friends for life. Yeah,
that's so cute. Honestly, like friends for life, like you said.
Yeah. I will never get rid of them.
That's good. That's good to hear. But also because you said there are two different types. There's the individual and also the team. So in the team, is it just, multiple people doing the routine together?
Yeah, that's exactly how it is. So I have 6 teammates in the team, and 3 of them will do the event, and 2 of them the score will be counted. So for me, last competition in team, I did 3 events, and actually it's how it is. The one that's best in the event will be competing the event. So you can sometimes I have 2 events, sometimes 1, sometimes 3, sometimes all of it. It's depending on how fit I am, how I'm doing in training, in practice, and my coach will decide who will do the events and how many.
Okay, so in team you kind of get like 3 tries per team, basically, because if you have 3 people, right?
Yeah. So 2 will be counted, and if one mess up, it isn't so bad. So you have a lot of chances to do it as well as you can.
Is it that same routine though? Because if, for example, I don't know if they're team events, but like on bars, is it that same routine that all 3 people do?
No, it's different. When you're young, it will be the same. So when I was like that age, we'll have all the same routines. In every age group, you have the same, like 7 till 9, you have the same routines, and 9 to 11. But when you're, I think, 14 and older, you can make your own routine. So it will become really different. You can have different music, all different kind of skills, and it just it will be depending on how good you are and what you're doing, and not as much as, okay, how are you performing in the same routine as anyone else.
But would they need to be the same number of points for the what you're doing category? Like, would it have to be the same skills, kind of?
It's a little bit different. You have 4 rules in each event that you have to do, and if you don't do it, you will have a deduction. So that's kind of the same, but in the rules, you also have different skills that you can do to have the rules. So it can be really different, and most of the time, at most you have 2 points of differences in the teammates that you have.
So, but then the teacher has to choreograph all of these, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah. Yeah. So in my team and in my whole team we have 25 girls. So she will learn 25 routines to all the kids.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I can't imagine doing that 25.
No. I'm happy she's glad with it, but I wouldn't do it.
But how does she, I guess, like write it down so she remembers it? Is it kind of just, I don't know how that would be done.
Now, most of the time she will make it up, and after she did it, she will come to the gym and immediately teaching it you. So she can forget it about it, and you will remember it, and she can go on to the next girl.
Okay, that's good. But then what if she tells you how to do the routine, but then you remember it wrong, and then she forgets it? What happens then?
Yeah, if you're older than 18, that's your own responsibility.
No, yeah.
Yeah, but if you're younger, so in the younger age groups, you have YouTube videos from the National Federation, and because they're all the same routines, so they have YouTube videos on how they need to look and what they are doing. So you can just put the YouTube video on, and here you go.
Okay, that's helpful.
Yeah.
Does the routine, I guess, hardness or the difficulty of it, does it increase with every age, or is it like level based?
Level based a bit. Of course, if I look at my routines 2 years ago, even if I'm in the same level, it's definitely increased. So that's why I want to go a level higher, because I'm ready for it. But if you want, you can still have the same skills and the same routine as 3 years ago. So that doesn't have to be different, but because you're practicing everything so much, you will be have a process on how good you will be becoming, and the skills will be increasing also. So it's logic that you get better and do it on competition also.
Mm-hmm. So just to make sure the level, because you're level 8 right now, right?
Yeah.
And you want to go to level 9, and then the divisions are the ones that are by ages, right? So it's like,
no. The levels in our country are in ages, and so it's like groups, I guess. So I'm a senior, and that's on the age that I have. So we have youth and pupil and instap in the Netherlands, how it's called, and that's the age group that you have. So I'm a senior, so I'm the old one. And in the group of age, you have different divisions. So I'm the third division, and I want to make it to the second division. So who knows?
So for divisions, what level does it go to when you have to move to the next division? So for you, what kind of level would you have to be at to go to division 2?
It's not really about a level. It's more about what I can do in skills. So as I said, the rules in every division that you need to do in events, if you can do it, you can go to a higher division. And because of COVID this year, you can apply a division higher if you want to. Like I said, normally you have to be in the top 10 to qualify in a higher division. But right now, because of COVID, they just let that rule go. And if I want to go to a higher division, then I can go.
But you want to be in the top 3, so then you have to.
Yes, because I want to know how far I can come in that division. I've been there my whole life, and I'm better than ever. So I want to see, okay, how far can I go? And last time I made nationals, when I was 21, I was 23 on place 23, I guess. So I want to see if yeah, sure, my skills have been better, but I want to see, okay, how far can I come now? Yeah.
So do you think it's going to happen during this competition? Because I know it's been rescheduled, but during this sort of, I guess next year, because 2022.
Yeah, next year. I hope so. Yeah, I made semi-final. So that's really good, and I hope they will move on with it. So I was second last competition, so I'm ready for it. But COVID hit, so who knows? I don't know. But I hope that we can go on this year. And last year they canceled everything in December, and they didn't do that this year. So they're still saying, okay, January the competition is canceled, but not for the whole season. We will see how it goes, and we hope we can go on with it. But I don't know.
When does the season start?
Mostly in November. So it's like the same with school. It's starting in the practice starting in September and ends in July for summer holiday. But the competition starts mostly in November and ends in May.
Is it like that for all levels?
Yes, it's a bit the same, and it's going around the whole year. So they are trying to do it over the whole year, because you have a lot of competitions that if you have a lot of competition in a few weeks, then the rest of the year is just empty. So they're trying to divide everything, so it will be more fun to go to competition.
No, for sure. I think that's a good thing they're doing, because like you said, if it's a cluster, that's kind of like what else do you have, you know?
Yeah. A friend of mine, because of COVID, it's a little bit different. So a friend of mine had her individual competition for nationals in 2 weeks in a row. She didn't have time to improve her skills from last competition. She had to do it twice in a week.
How for those competitions, what do you leave feeling like? Like, are you just mentally tired, or do you think more physically?
Mentally, I think, because you're so nervous before the competition, and the adrenaline is going crazy in your body. After the competition, I really always have a headache because my hair is so tight.
Because it has to be. Yeah.
yeah. So it doesn't fall off. So I always have a headache after a competition, and I'm always so tired because I had adrenaline rush, and after it, I'm just going to sleep straight away. We're always going to McDonald's, and after McDonald's, straight to bed.
No, that's a good tactic, I feel like.
Yeah.
But also, do you have any, I guess, does it get better? Because the more you compete, do you get like less nervous, or are you just the same amount of nervous before each one?
I like being nervous, because if I'm not nervous, I will not compete as good as I normally am, because of my adrenaline rush. I'm doing better. So I'm hoping always on the adrenaline rush. So for me, it's a good thing. But for some of my teammates, they don't do well with the adrenaline, and they will get really nervous, and it will impact their routines on the event. But for me, it really helps me.
Has it always been like that for you, with the adrenaline helping you? Or is that something you kind of learned? Really?
Yeah, definitely. When I was young and I was really nervous, I fell off beam like 3 times. So
oh my gosh, the beam.
Yeah. So right now I'm doing great with the adrenaline rush, but when I was younger, I didn't.
No, that's good. I feel like with any sort of, practically anything, even performing arts like acting, singing, whatever, when you're performing in front of people, I think it's really important to learn how to control that and to let that help you instead of hurt you.
Yeah, exactly. And it helped me in my work life right now also. If I'm under pressure in my work life, I can handle it. And I learned that from gymnastics. And it's the same as a discipline. When I was young, the simple things that I learned about, if you go to practice, what are you bringing with you? Your leotard and your gymnastics gear, and you have to be on time. Otherwise, you will have conditioning. That kind of stuff learned me how to be disciplined. And that's what I'm still doing in my normal life right now. So a lot of things that I learned in gymnastics, I'm using in my own life right now.
That's really great. It's like teaching you the ropes of life.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, sometimes in a hard way, but it helps.
No, for sure. I've heard that with sports, because I grew up with tennis, and so kind of the same thing, like overcoming yourself mentally, challenging yourself all the time, getting better.
Yeah, it's also, no matter how physical it is, it's also a mental sport. No matter how talented you are, if you're not mentally good at it, if you're under pressure, you will fail, then you can be a good gymnast. So mentally, it's really important. Like we've seen in the past competition with Simone Biles, if you're mentally not in the right place, you can compete as good as you are.
Yeah. So do you have any ways that you learned to overcome yourself mentally? Or do you think it's just practice?
A little bit of both. Like my coach, she will, before competition, we have different events that she organized. So before every competition, you have to go to the gym, and she will have a judge over there that will write where she will see all your events and let you see, okay, where can you improve in and what do you still have to learn? So that's always nerve-wracking, because that's the final part of your season. So that's just before competition starts, you have a kind of audition. Okay, where are you at and what can you do? So that's nerve-wracking. So you're learning in practice to how to be mentally in the season.
That's good. I feel like that's a good system, because then you you test trial it,
Yeah, it helps me because my nerves are already over there. I've been through it once, so I can do it again. And otherwise, you're going to competition. It's the first time you will have all your nerves and everything goes around you. So it's good to practice it in practice.
What about during competition? Do you focus on anything specific, like your breath to calm down, or?
I'm really quiet when I'm in competition. Normally, I'm always so energetic, and everyone knows when I'm in the gymnastics club because I'm always happy and shouting and cheering everyone on. But in competition, I'm getting really quiet, and I'm sitting on that bench just besides my teammates who has the same thing, and just be quiet. And what I'm doing for myself is go through every event again, okay, what I'm going to do on that event. Where do I need to focus on? Because some skills need more energy than others. So you focus on the ones, okay, what do I need to do? My coach, what did you say about the technique? Where do I need to pay attention on? So that kind of stuff. And before I go on an event, I always take some deep breaths before I go, and then I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm. That's good. I've heard of athletes and stuff just mentally going over all they have to do before, like kind of visualizing. I think it's called visualization.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you already been there then. So because of visualizing, you already been through it once. So you can do it again in real life. You've been doing it in practice so many times. So why not at a competition?
No, yeah, for sure. But also with visualization, I read a thing, I'm not sure where, but it's some sort of research about how these two groups of people, one was practicing the piano scales, right, for piano.
Yeah.
And then the other one was just imagining it. And then in their brain, it was the same amount of growth in the same area for piano, basically.
That's crazy. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's really good. Yeah. So we're using that as well in gymnastics because every skill is so difficult. And if you're doubting 1 second, even a bit of a second, then it will go wrong. So you have to do it with full energy. So visualization before you go on is really a good thing.
Mm-hmm. But also for some of the events, like for Beam, it just looks terrifying. Like I can't imagine doing that myself.
Yeah, it is. So I like Beam right now,
yeah.
but I have a love-hate relationship with it.
Makes sense.
Because every skill that I'm doing, like in front, so an aerial or something is fine, and everything that I do with jumps are totally fine. But all the skills that I'm doing backwards, like a back handspring or something, you can't see the beam before you jump. So you're hoping that your hands will go on the bar.
Just visualize them going in, they'll go in for sure.
Yeah. So that's always made me scared. And it's getting better and better. So right now my backhand spring is pretty good actually, but I've been through that for years. So since this year, I can do my backhand spring without any fear. But before that, it was always scared.
So do you think it's just a lot of practice and repetition and then your fear eases with each one?
Yeah. It's really a step at a time. So, it's really like, okay, my coach is standing beside me and helping me. Okay, then just spotting me with one step backwards and then one step backwards and backwards and backwards till she's gone. And then I can do it. And then without the mat. And so you have different little steps that you're taking before you can do the skill.
So it's kind of like learning to ride a bike. Like that's a very simple comparison.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It's one step at a time. And sometimes the steps are taking really long time and sometimes it's just easily.
But as long as you're moving, that's the most important.
That's so true. Yeah. And that's also mentally is so important because last year I had a skill that I did without any fear. And then fear came at me. And I don't know why, but I had to start over with the skill. And even though I could do it physically 100%, mentally I couldn't do it. So I had to start over. So in gymnastics, your mental state is so important to improve with your skills.
I think that's really important, just building that physical discipline, but also mental discipline. Because then how they come together. That's very interesting.
Yeah, I think the strongest athletes are mentally very strong and know when they the most strong athletes, I think, for myself, are the ones that can say, okay, I'm not feeling good today. I'm not mentally there. I can do it. And my coach respects that also, because if I'm tired of a day of work and I say, I can do the backhand spring today because I'm really tired, and next training I will do it without a doubt. But if I do it today, I will crash or be scared about it. She just said, okay, then we're not doing this today. Next training, it's fine. Yes. That's
what Simone Biles did, right? Because she was
Yeah. And that's really tough. And especially if you're in the Olympics and everybody is watching you, because she was, everyone's eyes was on her. So it's really tough to make a decision to say, okay, I'm not there mentally. And a lot of people can't understand her because they are not there. So most people that are on their couch with a bag of shit.
Yes,
saying,
exactly.
No, she needs to do it. But if you're doing it, you can understand, okay, I know how she feels and it's okay to quit right now.
No, I think it's really respectable because then you know your limits and you know that if you push past, you're going to hurt yourself. And what's the point of that? You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I feel like that's a very good point to end our podcast episode.
Yeah.
Knowing your limits. Do you have anything else to add as a final remark?
No, thank you for today.
Thank you so much for coming. This was so interesting. Yeah. I learned so much about gymnastics. I've heard like some, but obviously I didn't know as much as I do now.
Good. I'm glad. Thank you.